Welcome to 5 to 9, the movie game for movie fans, where we have to connect actors to actors through no fewer than 5 and no more than 9 movies. I'm your host, Eric Ginsberg, and we're coming to you live on tape from my apartment during quarantine in beautiful Asbury Park, New Jersey. Do you love movies? Do you love getting lost in the IMDb, the Internet Movie Database? Do you love talking through, who is that guy? Who is in that thing? What's his face? Then this is your show, and this game is for you. In just a moment, I'm going to introduce today's contestants, but first, I want to remind you that if you'd like to be a contestant on 5 to 9, you can enter for a chance to be on our show by beating us at our own game. Just download or purchase official 5 to 9 game cards at 5to9game.com. That's the number 5, T-O, the number 9, game.com. Play today's challenge, post a photo of your winning game card on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, and tag us at 5 to 9 game in your post. So my first guest, he's an old friend of mine. He's a dear friend of mine. I know him from TV. You know him from the podcast Foulcast, everybody's favorite video game podcast. Everybody please welcome Adam Taliercio. Hello, Adam.
Hello, sir. Glad to be back.
It's great to have you on the show for the first time ever. Adam.
Oh.
Yeah. Adam, tell me about the Foulcast. What is Foulcast?
Well, Foulcast, everyone's favorite if I'm the only person in the conversation. The Foulcast is a video game podcast starring myself, Sky, and Matt, where we basically play some games and talk about them. It's very conversational. It's sort of free-flowing. Whatever game design topics end up coming up, a little bit of a review, a little bit of a analysis, a little bit of design talk. Was defunct for a couple of years, but now that we're all trapped in our respective bunkers, we've decided to bring it back for a bit. So we're having a little fun for as long as I can make it happen until we all have to go back into the real world again.
It definitely is a good time for us to be creative and make things that we care about. Now, Adam, you and I were talking earlier before the show, and you told me that a movie you want to see a sequel to is The Happening. And I got to be honest, I feel like we're getting that sequel right now. What could a sequel to The Happening, M. Night Shyamalan's B-movie, starring Mark Wahlberg, Zooey Deschanel, and John Leguizamo, possibly have to top what we're currently living through?
Well, the thing about The Happening, the reason why that was a movie that I said that's something I would want to see a sequel for is because I love The Happening. I think it is a delightfully terrible movie. I think it's a little... I think it gets a little bit more of flack than it deserves, in the sense that I think a lot of its badness is deliberate. I think it's setting out to make a very 50s B movie kind of a spectacle, and I think that it succeeds on that level. I just think it's a dumb good time, and I would be down to see more of The Happening. So it's not so much that I'm like, what do I think this would entail, so much as it would be, I would just like to see Mark Wahlberg talk to more plants. And run from more box fans.
And also teach more science classes if possible.
No, that part we're fine. He doesn't have to be a teacher anymore. It's mostly he has to converse with plants, and he has to run from wind. And if there is an old woman whose lemon drink he can eye, so much the better.
All right, Adam, it's great to have you on the show. Our next guest is actually, Adam, your partner in your YouTube series, Upsetting Shorts, which is a little bit of MST3K style. Everybody, please welcome, he's big, he's hunky, he's Tim Hall. Hello, Tim.
And hello again, friends. And you are our friends. It's fantastic to be here because the synchronicity of this, as many of you know, and I didn't want to tell Eric this, Adam and I together host a podcast. It's called Yelling at Eric Ginsberg. And this is the 100th episode, so we're doing a simulcast thing. And, it's great to actually have you on for the 100th episode.
Yeah, I know, it's great. It's great to be yelled at to my face.
Yeah. Well, we didn't want to, just, tell you about it from the first episode, because what if we only went 5?
Well, 100th podcast aside, Tim, can you tell me about Upsetting Shorts?
Oh, well, yes. Upsetting Shorts is basically our homage to our favorite show, MST3K, which Mr. Sensitive 3000, which was the best modern day series looking at bad sci-fi and horror movies of the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and today, like WCBS FM. And we loved it so much we wanted to do it, and like any good art form, you just sort of look at Van Gogh and you go, I. And so we did. So we tried, and we think there's some good. There's some laughs on there.
And they are out there on YouTube for folks to check out and enjoy.
YouTube.com/TV's Adam.
There you go. So, Tim, you and I were chatting a little earlier, and you told me that a movie you want to see that the ending just totally changed is The Breakfast Club. So tell me, give me your pitch for why Judd Nelson fist up is not the perfect ending for this movie. How could it have ended better?
No. Judd Nelson is fine. My issue is with Ally Sheedy. She goes from this goth chick who's, snorting pixie sticks and shaking her dandruff onto the picture to make it snow. And then 20 minutes later, Molly Ringwald gets a hold of her, and she becomes this blah teen princess.
Basically, all problems can be solved by a makeover.
Right. If you just slap some makeup on it, you'll be all right, and you're a new person. And it's like, no, and you can put those side by side. I want goth Ally Sheedy before, just random, white dress. Am I pretty enough for you?
Well, perhaps in some sort of alternate dimension, we can get some kind of like goth Molly Ringwald and just kind of complete the circle where Ally Sheedy can give.
I think that was The Stand, if memory serves.
There we go. So you know what? Maybe you got the ending you were looking for. It just happened in a different parallel universe. So guys, we've invited you both here today to play the movie game 5 to 9, where you'll have to connect 2 actors through no fewer than 5 and no more than 9 movies. Here's how we're going to play. Before our show, I asked you guys to jot down the names of 5 actors. I put those names in a hat, and now I'm going to randomly draw 2 of them that you're going to have to connect. So the first name from the hat, you're going to have to connect from Matthew McConaughey. Good luck spelling McConaughey. But I'm going to put Matthew McConaughey in our from spot. And we're going to have to go from Matthew McConaughey to Gwyneth Paltrow. Gwyneth Paltrow. Now, we're also going to draw a third name, and that third name is going to be a wild card. If you can go through that wild card, you can earn 3 bonus points. Let's see who our wild card is today. If you can get through Robin Williams.
He's built like a tank, too, so it's going to be real hard.
The late, great Robin Williams.
I can take him.
Yeah, now.
The 3. Well, yeah, not
soon.
Back then. Not
too
back
soon. Then. If you can get through him, you're going to get 3 bonus points.
That humor.
And finally, guys, we're going to spin our house rules wheel. And each time you hit the house rule, you're going to get a bonus point. Let's spin the wheel.
And make
give it a little spin. It goes ticka, 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 ticka. And today's house rule is going to be...
I've been meaning to talk to you about
that. Oh, this is a sad one. It's in memoriam. So Robin Williams is going to get you a bonus point as well because we miss him so much. Anybody who's passed away is going to get you a bonus point out of respect, though, but out of respect.
So, Evan, so that's any dead person that we include in our list, and Robin Williams would be like extra because he's the wild card. I just want to make sure I understand the situation correctly.
You nailed it. And also, as always, Kevin Bacon, our perennial wild card, with 2 points. Any Saturday Night Live cast members always going to be worth 1 bonus point. Adam, Tim, you'll be playing together. I'll be here on the sidelines to offer some help along the way, but not too much help. Are you guys ready to play the game?
No.
No, not particularly, but,
All right.
What else can we do?
Well, at least we're in this together, I guess.
I mean, that's fair.
All right. Well, I'm going to take that as an excited yes. And as always, I'm going to apologize in advance to the actors who spent a career building a body of work, whose faces we know, but whose names we may butcher, and to all the hardworking writers, directors, and producers who picked the perfect name for a film that we may likely fumble through. I swear, we really do love your work. So guys, talk through some Matthew McConaughey roles. See if you can get to Robin Williams. Remember, you have to do it in no fewer than 5 movies from beginning to end, but no more than 9. talk it out.
So I'm the one who wrote down Matthew McConaughey's
You
name,
did.
and it didn't occur to me that I maybe know 2 movies. He was in Dark Tower.
Sure
Okay.
was.
The
All
funny
right.
thing is, I wrote down Idris Elba,
Okay.
and I was when Eric said Matthew McConaughey, I went, "Come on, 7," and that didn't happen. So, and it wouldn't have helped us anyway because
we got to run around first, and then
All right, so listen, Dark Tower, that's one. What else? What else is Matthew McConaughey in?
Fast Times.
Really?
Nope.
Oh.
What?
No, you're thinking of a movie that
no.
was maybe a love letter to Fast Times.
Oh no!
Not significantly later.
Oh damn it!
His first role, he had a mustache. You can't remember it? Be a lot cooler if
Oh!
you did.
You know what I mean? Damn it! This is why I suck.
It is.
Is it Dazed and Confused?
It is Dazed and
Thank
Confused.
you.
Okay.
Fun fact, the way that he got the role for Dazed and Confused.
I'm going to go out and say this is going to be a fun fact.
It is. He was basically just like hanging out in front of a store, and Richard Linklater saw him and asked him to audition for the role. And he was wearing kind of like a baseball tee, and they were looking for like a baseball jock. So they asked him to, talk to them about baseball for the audition, and he completely made up everything he said in the audition because he knew absolutely nothing about baseball and got the part, and it was his very first role.
It's the thing with the dog, as we all know. Obviously.
Well, at least there's nothing in the rule book that says that a dog can't play baseball.
That's true. Airbud 29, as we all know.
Bud Harder. So,
all right. So Dazed and Confused had 17,000 different stars.
Yeah. 17,000 soon-to-be stars.
Well,
that movie really was a star maker.
Yeah,
not having seen that movie, I have no contribution to make for Dazed and Confused. So
I've vaguely seen it.
Okay.
See, here's the problem.
Yeah.
Most of the movies that I'm going to reference today, I watched when I was smacked. So, so I vaguely remember.
Like 16. That did not
That's
go
what
where
I
I thought
thought
it was going to go.
I vaguely remember a lot of movies, but they all sort of just. It's like a hard drive that's in the middle of defragging. Like there's a lot of frags in there,
but it's never going to finish.
That are just not. It's not going to work.
We're just moving pieces around and hoping that they all end up. In a
what
place
else
that
was
makes
Matthew
any kind of
McConaughey in? Or you definitely already touched down on somebody who was in a Matthew McConaughey movie, if we can call The Dark Tower a Matthew McConaughey movie, in that he was in it. But who else was in movies with him, or what other movies was he in?
Well, okay. The probably the thing that makes sense to do is to throw the ball to you right now, Tim, and ask if you can name any Idris Elba movies. Because if we've got a connection to somebody that you put down, maybe there was a movie in your mind that wasn't The Dark Tower, because that's the movie that was in my mind.
The Dark Tower, pretty much. A lot of my Idris Elba is TV.
Yeah, that's part of the problem too. Is like I think of a name and I'm like, oh, they were in that. Oh no, it doesn't.
No,
yeah, we had an episode a couple weeks ago with Jeff Moeller and Maria Rea Moeller where Jeff coined the term cul-de-sac, where you pick a huge star, but then you get stuck at the end of TV and you can't kind of back out.
I don't know if he coined that term.
He coined it for the sake of this game.
I'd heard of it.
All respect to Mole, don't get me wrong. All right. So what else is Matthew McConaughey?
Backwards from.
So this is where this gets tricky for me, is that we can just sort of go down into a mire of conversation. So what's the end point again? I've already forgotten.
The end point is Gwyneth Paltrow. Robin Williams is going to be worth 3 points for the wild card plus a point for In Memoriam.
Okay. All right. So
a lot of points on Robin Williams today.
Hang on. Let's work from the middle from Robin Williams.
You could do that.
There's an idea.
Okay.
Because Robin Williams was in What Dreams May Come.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That had a lot of big stars in it. That had Cuba Gooding Jr. in it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say Cuba Gooding Jr.'s most famous quote because I'd get censored on this show.
Show me the money? You can say show me the money.
No.
That's Cuba Gooding's most famous quote.
No, it isn't.
He won an Academy Award for that.
If you're watching at home, Google, YouTube Cuba Gooding Jr. nightclub.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it wasn't in it.
Yes,
okay, so it wasn't in a movie.
No.
It's a thing that he said.
The thing you
I'm
think
watching
of does not make it
and I have no
most
idea what you're
famous
talking
movie.
about.
All right,
Okay.
so sure you can go there.
Okay.
It's going to really help if you have a couple of people who were in Matthew McConaughey movies.
Yeah.
If all you've got is Idris Elba and all you've got for Idris Elba is TV shows and you can't think of any of his many movie roles.
Was Matthew McConaughey in a romantic comedy with Sarah Jessica Parker?
He was. Do you recall the name of it?
Was it Failure to Launch?
It was, absolutely.
Okay. Now, has Sarah Jessica Parker been in some movies?
A few, yeah,
Other
a few.
than the Sex and the City films.
Well,
that's a movie, though. That's a movie, though.
There
were people in those movies.
Who
else? Because then we could go. Well, who else was in Mannequin? Because then we could go Sarah Jessica Parker to Kim Cattrall, who was in Mannequin.
Or we can use the fact that they were in 2 Sex and the City movies together.
Right.
Well, yeah, but I, if you were to ask me to name other people who were in those movies, I can hand you Kim Cattrall, and then I can leave.
Okay.
So,
what was Kim Cattrall?
Chris Knopf.
Mannequin. I feel like you guys. No one's listening to me. Kim Cattrall was in Mannequin. The end. I've done my job. Now, if I've brought nothing to the table other than to inform you that Kim Cattrall was in Mannequin, that is an accurate assessment of what's actually going on right now.
What other movies was Sarah Jessica Parker in? Because she has had a run of some pretty classic movies, some of which she played smaller parts, but very memorable parts.
Oh, she was
as well as a couple of starring roles.
Yeah, she was in that one teen comedy with Robert Downey Jr. and Molly Ringwald again. We just bring up Molly Ringwald all the time. What the hell was the name of that? Was that? Damn it! It was part of the
Brat Pack?
Yeah, the Brat Pack kind of milieu.
I can't recall that. The only Brat Pack movie I really remember Robert Downey Jr. being in was Johnny Be Good with his later SNL castmate Anthony Michael Hall. But he was also in a film
in this movie as well
with his eventual Avengers Age of Ultron co-star.
Thanos.
I know, I'm blanking on his name right now. He was on the awful season of The Office. He is the star of The Blacklist. I know his name 99 days out of 100, and today is that 100th day.
Is it the guy that played Robert California?
Yeah. He was on Boston Legal.
Yeah, I also know exactly who you're talking about and cannot remember his name for the life of me.
I can see him.
Yeah.
I can tell you what he looks like.
You can see him? Is he there?
Spader.
Move the camera. I want to say
David Spader, yes.
James Spader?
James Spader. There we go. James Spader.
Not David Spader. I'm thinking of David Spade.
We got it. We got James Spader. Okay. Yeah. Entirely useless because we can't recall the name of the
noun
movie.
Form of someone who, it's a person who David Spades.
Fair enough.
Yes. There you go.
All right. So how do we get from Matthew McConaughey to Robin Williams? And yes, you can use Sarah Jessica Parker if you can name some Sarah Jessica Parker movies.
Well, we could use a sort of pincer attack and sort of if we surround Robin Williams.
Not now, obviously.
If he is
well, it's a lot easier now.
It's in some ways it's easier, but in some ways it's harder.
Okay. I have to tell you guys, when I'm not a podcast host, I am a teacher. And I got the news about Robin Williams passing while I was in class with a bunch of 16 and 17-year-olds while we were on a little 5-minute break. And it was like a gut punch. And one of the students, like it was visible. He looked at me and he said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Robin Williams just died." And one of those 16-year-olds said, Who's that?
Of course.
And
yeah,
another student said, "Is she an actress?"
Ah.
So that was how I had to digest that information.
And then you punched those children.
What you need to remember is that you are very old.
You did.
True.
And I am very old.
But Robin
very old.
But Robin Williams is timeless.
Well,
apparently not.
His appeal is... I didn't say he's immortal. Man, you are going dark.
I'm going dark. Look,
if you're going to... It's there on the T. Okay, what am I supposed to do?
What? Why don't you rattle off some Robin Williams movies and see where you can get either to Gwyneth Paltrow or Matthew McConaughey. Talk about it.
Who? So Robin Williams was in Hook with
no one.
No, well, not no one. There were
Well, who?
I don't know.
Yeah, go on.
There
All
were
right,
other
never mind,
humans.
moving on.
You can't sit there and tell me that there were not other human beings in that movie.
No, there were.
Rufio
Bob
was in that
Hoskins.
movie, and
Bob
I will not hear a word
Hoskins.
against him.
Yes,
Bob
Bob
Hoskins was in that
Bob
movie,
Hoskins
but-
was in that movie?
He was
Yeah, he
Smee.
was Smee.
And who was who?
He
Oh,
was
Dustin
Smee.
Hoffman.
Right.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Dustin
Okay.
Hoffman.
And excuse me, very important moment right here while we're discussing
relax.
Hook.
No, you're the host. Go on.
Who played young Wendy? Not old Wendy, young Wendy. In her very first role.
I did, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
I don't know what you mean. I'm actually going to need you to unpack that one in intimate detail.
I'm going to need you to tell me who played young Wendy in her very first role. Her father was a
that Natalie
cinematographer.
Portman? No,
It was not Natalie Portman. Her first role was in Leon the Professional.
it
But
was Leon. Right.
But this young lady was not yet at that time an actress, but her father, a cinematographer, was friends with Steven Spielberg, who, when they were literally standing on line to purchase tickets to go see a different movie, Steven Spielberg said to her, "How'd you like to be in a movie?" And she said, "Okay," and that's how she got started in acting.
Get away from me, creep.
No, they were there together. You're the creep. Her dad and the director were friends.
No, listen. If
So who
Steven
was
Spielberg
she?
comes up to me in line,
And you're a little
At a
girl.
He
movie.
didn't come up to her. They were there together to see a movie.
wait, so she was there with Steven Spielberg to see a movie?
She was there with her dad, who is a famous cinematographer and friend and colleague of Steven Spielberg.
Oh,
And
all right.
she was like
So it
tagging
wasn't
along.
just Steven Spielberg cold
Hanging
calling.
out with a small child.
No. They were there together. She got the part purely due to nepotism. It began her career. She is very important to us today as we are playing this round because she may be exactly where we are trying to get.
Oh, is it Gwyneth Paltrow?
It is.
that's
Oh,
right.
I'm so glad you knew that.
Wouldn't it be nuts if it wasn't, though? Like,
There you
if
go.
It's like somebody who's very important to us
It's like-
today, Rue McClanahan.
Excuse
Everybody-
me. Rue McClanahan's important to us every day. Every day.
Oh, exactly.
I thought
every
it
day.
was just going to be. I thought it was going to be Eric going, someone who's very important to us today, me. And it was just
There
like,
you go.
wow, really? Eric,
I
you
was
played-
the Wendy.
You played
So
Wendy?
we
Wow,
can
that
get
was
a really direct
crazy.
connection
Wow.
from our wild card, Robin Williams, immediately to our final step with Gwyneth Paltrow through the movie Hook. So then all we have to do is get from Robin Williams to Matthew McConaughey, and we've done it.
Uh-oh.
Nope, he's dead.
We lost
Eric
him, I
died.
think. No, he's back.
Oh,
He's just moving his eyes. You know, they follow you everywhere you go in a room.
it's true.
He's haunted, as I guess.
Anyway, I just want to tell everybody for the fans of Tim and Adam yell at Eric Ginsberg, the podcast. Just want to tell everybody, if you go to stamps.com,
I was gonna do Casper. The first chance I got, I was gonna do Casper mattresses. Oh,
I was going
I'm
going
too
old
slow,
school.
man. I'm
I was
rusty.
going
I'm
old school,
rusty.
Melba.
All right, so talk it through.
Are
How do
we
you get from
back?
Robin Williams to Matthew McConaughey for the win?
So, but we still need to make like 3 stopovers, though, don't we?
Well, sure, you have to get at least 5 movies, and so far you only have the one, which means you have a lot of latitude to get from Matthew McConaughey to Robin Williams.
Okay. So, we can't use Hook twice because we're
You
using
cannot use
Robin
Hook
Williams
twice.
to get
That's
to-
correct.
Right. So, what other stuff has Robin Williams been in? What was that? Oh, okay.
Good Morning Vietnam,
Yeah, I don't remember.
Aladdin, but I have no idea who the other voices were.
Really?
Okay, well, Will Smith
Well,
was
John Lovitz.
No, Will Smith.
Will Smith is in the
Smith.
remake.
That's yeah.
Who?
Gilbert was in it.
Gilbert Gottfried, there you go.
Yeah. Who's of course
Name
known for
another
his
Gilbert
film
Gottfried
work.
movie.
So you
else was
mentioned
in
Will
that?
Smith because Will Smith did the role of the genie in the remake, but who directed that remake?
Does it have to be actors, or can you use like directors and stuff?
It does have to be people who appeared on screen during the movie, though there are many directors who put themselves into their movies, like M. Night Shyamalan, like Mel Brooks, but you do need to use people who were featured at some point on film. But who directed Aladdin? I'm going somewhere with this. The remake.
Why?
When did it came out?
Remake?
I don't know. Was
All right, then we'll ignore that.
Was it you?
It's somebody who directed Idris Elba in some stuff. But if you don't know who it was, I'm going to move on. All right, so Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah,
no one saw the Aladdin remake.
That's true.
No one watched that. No
That's
one
very
wants
true.
to see that.
Will Smith bought all the tickets.
I just like
Woo!
the sense of disappointment you have whenever we don't pick up whatever trail that you lay down.
Yeah,
It's
right.
just we're doing our best out here,
falling
man.
apart
Like,
at the seams right now, and you're disappointed because I don't know who directed the Aladdin remake.
there is a fire right behind this background that I really should be keeping an eye on. But I am here investing my energy in figuring out what things Robin Williams has done. Now
Trying
he
to
was
entertain
in that
America.
Yeah, thank you. You know what? You're welcome.
Bringing
you're
joy to the hearts of children, as always.
Casper mattresses. They come in a box the size of a mini fridge.
That's true. They'll deliver it right to your door.
All right.
If you enter code Tim and Adam, you get the 20% off
I highly
and
doubt
the free
all of
shipping.
this.
It's a good deal.
It's a
and
good
stamps.
deal. You're
Stamps
welcome.
are great. But post offices, who has the time? Stamps.com. They send you a scale. They send you your stamps.
We're
Mail
gonna
some
get
stuff.
flagged
What
for
else are you doing?
sponsorship.
What else do you have going on? Nothing. Send some mail. Stamps. Or so help me.
So seriously, if during this time of quarantine we can't go back to writing a couple of letters, we're never going to. If not now, when?
And if you'll just take a look at this literature, we it's all here. We'll mail it to you.
Right.
1 hour photo.
3 easy installments.
No, wait. No, for real, that's a movie. 1 hour photo.
Yes, 1 hour photo is a movie with Robin Williams.
Which I really, really like that movie, and I'm trying to, and I thought he was really good in it, and I'm trying to remember who else was in 1 hour photo because it's been a minute, because that would be a fun one. There were definitely people in it. I was there.
Yeah, he went through a period where after Roger Ebert kind of tore him apart for Patch Adams and the Patch Adamification of his movie career, that he decided to take on some darker roles. He made 3 films where he played a villain, and one of those was 1 hour photo.
I just had a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Robin Williams was in Toys with oh God, why is her name falling out of my head? Starts with a J.
Sure does.
Jessie in Toy Story.
Sure is.
Her brother is in that. Is that also an actor?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I'm furious. What is her name?
Get it.
Do you know who I'm talking about, dude?
Yeah.
Describe.
Well, I know you know. Describe her. Okay, I can say other stuff she was in. You remember Addams Family Values? Uncle Fester's girlfriend?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Had a blonde wig.
This is driving me crazy.
Oh,
her brother.
She, Bride of Chucky.
No.
What? No, that's Jennifer Tilly, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Her brother's an actor as well. He's super well known. His name's falling out of my head. He was
Mm-hmm.
in that. He was in that Stephen King movie about the hotel room. He was in Identity.
Gyllenhaal?
Mm-hmm.
No. They're older than that.
They were the 80s Gyllenhaals.
I'm furious that her name is not on my and is fallen out of my head. There's no good reason for it.
And she and her brother have almost identical names, just that there's a different sound between the consonants in their first name.
Was he the star of Arrested Development?
No. And they're more famous than that. Like it's the voice of Jessie, the cowgirl on Toy Story, which is where I was going because that's a massive cast, and then that's like a huge jumping off point.
100%.
And I cannot, for the life of me, remember her name, and I'm going to remember it later when I'm trying to go to sleep, and I'm going to punch a wall.
See, when I said describe her, I was like, tell me what she looks like. Like that would get you over, but like
I'm actually having a harder time
picturing her physically.
No, I can picture her face, but I can't like
you know,
hair
she
color.
is great as a voice actress.
Yeah, she's in a ton of
in Toy Stories 2, 3, and 4. But I have to say, perhaps her best animated role was when she was in Disney's Chicken Little, and she played Ugly Duckling, whose name was Abby Mallard, and she was great.
I can't even remember the last name. If you
can get the last name, you're there.
I know, because like if
they actually have a third lesser known sibling.
and I know something about the brother, the actor, because it was somebody, I think it was like Danny Trejo or something. They interviewed somebody who's like, who's the scariest person you've ever worked with, and they said this dude, and it is not it's because like if you look in his eyes, he's a crazy person, and I can't remember
if you
his
follow
name.
him on Twitter, he's also kind of a crazy person. The person whose name you're struggling with, look
It's
at his
such a
Twitter.
good connection too.
It's pretty deep. He was a teen star in the 80s.
And I'm not cheating. I'm not going to look it up.
And then he became
that's
kind of like a rom-com leading man in the 90s.
It's the dude from High Fidelity.
Uh-huh.
Oh, right. That guy.
Right?
Come on, you got it.
Think of like 4 things he's in.
He's in that one Stephen King movie.
Yeah, that's the one I said, where it's the hotel room. Really good short story, by the way.
1408, I think it was.
Yeah, much better short story than it is a movie. They really butchered it. But
that's a lot of Stephen King movies, though.
That's every Stephen King movie with
rare exception. It almost happened. It almost clicked in my brain, and then it eluded me. This is what it feels like to age.
And when doves cry.
Maybe I am just like my mother.
I've met your mother. You're a little different.
You leave my mother out of this. This is dead air, you guys.
Adam,
I don't know.
I can always edit it out.
I can always just
on the
impersonate
video,
your mother.
it's very entertaining. On the audio, I'm going to cut it out later, so it's fine.
Oh, okay, that's good to know.
Right. Then I'm just going to imitate Adam's mother.
If nothing would make me happier in this world.
I actually would probably get
thinking about an actor,
some degree of trouble.
An actress,
What is this?
What?
You've met my mom before.
She's not 75 years old and Jewish?
Neither of those things.
Oh, I mean, not on paper.
Sorry, I'm thinking of someone else. I apologize.
I'm so mad.
That's my impersonation of your mother.
Cusack! Joan Cusack!
There we go.
Oh, God, finally!
You got it.
Oh,
okay, so yes, you're correct.
Okay.
Robin Williams was in the movie Toys with Joan Cusack, who, by the end, spoiler, turns out to be his robot sister.
Robot, yeah.
And you're right, she was in 3 Toy Story movies, which are, of course, a trove of great actors. Can we get from any of them another step or two to get to Matthew McConaughey?
So it opens things up a whole lot, because there's the big names, obviously, because there's like Tom Hanks, for crying out loud. You can go in any different direction.
For crying out loud, indeed.
Tim Allen's been, Tim Allen might be good for like, okay.
Nothing. Literally nothing.
No. Because Tim Allen was in Galaxy Quest with some very, very cool people. That movie's awesome.
Sigourney Weaver
there is a very good
Alan Rickman.
There's a very good Galaxy Quest documentary on Amazon Prime right now. I really enjoyed it.
Ooh, I do like that movie. That seems like a good avenue, because you can go the Tom Hanks route, or we could go Tim Allen. We can go Galaxy Quest, and that gives us Sigourney Weaver, gives us Alan Rickman. Who else is cool in that? Tony Shalhoub.
Sam Rockwell.
Oh, yeah,
is there air? You don't know.
Okay.
He was essentially a red shirt on an episode and wound up getting sucked along on this adventure, and he's not excited about it.
So maybe at this point it makes sense to try to move forward with Matthew McConaughey a little bit, because like eventually we're going to have that problem, and it seems like we've got a good – how many are we up to right now?
I haven't been keeping track, but you're still in the neighborhood. Go for it.
I think we've reached the –
I'll get there.
I think we've reached the bare minimum of, if we close the loop now, we're good.
Okay. So for real, what has Matthew McConaughey been in? We had Sarah Jessica Parker at one point. Has there ever been a movie with Sarah Jessica Parker? And, has there ever been a movie with Sarah Jessica Parker and either Tony Shalhoub? No. I had a thought, because I thought of the one other movie I've seen Tony Shalhoub in. It was 13 Ghosts.
That was it?
That was the one.
Of his entire body of work, that's all you got?
In a movie?
Monk.
Yeah.
He was in Monk and Wings. I saw
he was in
those.
Monk and Wings and The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. So he does have a lot of TV bona fides, but he has a lot of movies.
No, he doesn't.
Does he really?
Oh yeah,
Can I
a
think
lot
of anything?
movies. Tony Shalhoub is a gem.
Who's in The Lincoln Lawyer?
That is a great question.
Thank you.
Good job.
But we're just going to leave
you.
it there. Just appreciate my question.
Right.
I appreciate the question.
On that for
However,
a second.
may I offer you instead a different lawyer movie with Matthew McConaughey?
Oh yeah, he was in like a few. Was he like a recurring lawyer character, or is it just like he was in a bunch of lawyer movies?
Yes, he was in a couple of lawyer movies.
Burton Hill, or whatever that was. That was The Client.
Yes. What was that movie?
The Client, or what am I?
No. Same author. Definitely John Grisham.
Right. It was in the Grisham.
Not the Pelican Brief.
No, also a John Grisham, but no, not that one. Pelican Brief was Denzel Washington and Julia Roberts.
The Juror?
No, not The Juror. That did have John Cusack in it, though. Yep, John Cusack and Rachel Weisz. And Dustin Hoffman and Gene Hackman. The Juror was stacked. It was a stacked juror.
Yeah, she was.
I thought this was PG.
Do you not know what stacking a jury means?
Yes, I know it. This is you brought this on yourself, Ginsberg.
Right. Yeah, you called us. We didn't call you, pal.
You're on the right train. You know the movie. You've quoted it already. It's got Matthew McConaughey. Right. It's written by John Grisham. Or it's based on a John Grisham book. Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh wait, Sam Jackson's the one who says yes, they deserve to die. I hope they burn
And
hell.
Sam Jackson was in what Stephen King film based on a short story?
Cell.
Was he? Is there a Cell movie?
Yeah, there's a Cell movie. Nobody saw it.
I saw it in the theater, actually, with Vince Vaughn and Vincent D'Onofrio and Jennifer Lopez.
Nobody saw it.
I did see the Cell.
You guys still hang out?
Nobody saw it.
But you mentioned it already.
What? The movie?
A Stephen King movie.
Oh, that's right. He's in the hotel movie. He's in 1409 or 1408 or whatever it is.
Yeah, 1408. That's right.
He's in that movie.
You're real close to nailing this if you can just name the movie with the quote with Sam Jackson and Matthew McConaughey.
Yes, it's not the Pelican Brief. It's not the Juror. It's not the Lawyer.
They're all the lawyers.
They all have.
In fairness, they are all
going through the people in the courtroom. The lawyer, the
Christmas
judge,
with the Cranks.
The bailiff,
Christmas with the Cranks was a film based on a book written by John Grisham, not about lawyers, that also starred Tim Allen.
Christmas with the Cranks is based on a book written by John Grisham?
That is correct. It's called Skipping Christmas. Or something like that. I don't know. Skipping Christmas this year, a year without Christmas. I was just as surprised as you. My brain has to hold on to this information for no reason, which is why I had to create this podcast to get it out of me.
That's actually this week's fake Ginsberg fact, brought to you by Stamps.com.
Oh, man, I can't. You guys, I just can't say enough about Stamps.com. If someone were to mail me a letter containing the name of this stupid movie so that we could all move on with our lives, I hope that you would weigh the letter using the scale that they will send to your home.
Yeah.
So, okay. What happened in the movie we're trying to name right now?
Well, Samuel Jackson yells the line, yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
And why would he say that?
That's
the only thing.
Because presumably there are some people who Samuel Jackson believes deserve to die, and he hopes with all sincerity that they burn in hell. Samuel, I don't know if this helps, but Samuel L. Jackson was in Snakes on a Plane.
That's true, but we want to get to John Cusack because that can get us to Joan Cusack.
Oddly enough,
wait, how does John Cusack get us to Joan Cusack? What movie
because they've been in a couple of movies.
Oh yeah, they're in High Fidelity together. They're in High Fidelity together.
Is Joan Cusack in High Fidelity?
Yes, she's like a friend of his that I'm 99.9% positive.
You are absolutely correct. She's actually his girlfriend's best friend.
No! Oh wait, that's the opposite direction. Oh, damn it. Okay, because I got excited because then it's like go to Jack Black, go to Gwyneth Paltrow. Can we flip this around?
You can do whatever you want.
Okay. Well, then where do we leave?
You just need the name of the movie you keep quoting.
I don't know what it is.
You've got this.
The Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes, they deserve to die.
And burn in hell. By the way, I'm glad we got to say hell like 17 times right now.
The Aristocrats.
Look it up, kids.
Yeah.
Tell your parents.
For those of you who are listening on
Big
the
hairy
podcast,
forearms starring Samuel L. Jackson.
I was tapping the back of my wrist, which is how he got the aristocrats. But what goes on your wrist?
You guys, I have a storied background in an improvisational comedy.
Yes.
What? What was the question? I'm sorry, I was talking about my storied background in improvisational comedy.
How are we on time?
When is this going to air?
Whenever I can get it edited down, but the important
I thought
thing
you
is
were editing out all our failings.
you literally have this
We
game
can do this all
won
night.
if you can just name the movie. What happened in the movie? Why did Samuel L. Jackson
snap
getting
bracelet.
colder? You're getting so much colder.
The-
In fairness, the
it's like
wristwatch
something
is
like
not
the
that off.
Bad Witness.
But what do we do with the
Watchmen.
wristwatch?
The time tellers.
Time.
The...
Okay. Do I have
Make
to
it a
charades
compass
the whole
in the
name
woods
for you?
when
You
we're
got the
lost.
word time.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that you do. Why are you wasting your time and mine by not just handing me the clues so that we can all move on? Stamps.com.
You know, I
like
just want
the
to point
idea-
out.
I really like the idea of just more and more sick rage as you do your podcast ads where you're just screaming at the listener about stamps. I don't think you understand.
Blue apron.
The post office.
All right. Hang on. Let me bring everybody back together because I think I figured it out.
Okay.
Eric, when you
Yeah.
pointed at your wrist,
Yeah.
it was rather hairy.
Yeah.
All right?
I said big hairy forearms starring Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah. Well, no. Hairy wrist.
Yeah.
If you go to Manscaped,
Yeah.
it's a promo code.
Manscaped is
You
for your
gotta
wrist.
trim your bits, all right? You can't.
No.
It can't be
So
like
it was,
it can't be like the Amazon down there. You got to make sure you're taking care of business.
I definitely
You
have
don't
to
know what
cut
I'm
that
talking
out.
about.
Manscaped.com.
Oh,
That's
come
a little too
on.
much.
Manscaped.com /
But on YouTube, it's going to live forever
Him and Eric.
for the video.
You selling me out?
Yeah, no, you're right.
No.
Sorry.
So you're just going to yell at him, and that's going to be the podcast?
I'm riding the Eric train from now on.
All right, so
do a
you're
guess.
there. You know the movie. You know what happened in the movie. You can
No.
quote
Is it
lines from the movie.
It's the time.
You know who wrote the movie.
I don't know who wrote it. Oh, yes, I do. John,
Yes.
the man who wrote freaking Babe Pig in the City or whatever ridiculous movie it was you said. Time for
Time to kill.
Time-
There you go.
Die.
There
A
you
time
go.
for-
Time to kill?
A time to kill. You got it.
That's not
for-
a Bond movie.
That is definitely
View
the
to
name
a
I'm
That's
Kill.
looking
definitely
for.
also a Bond movie.
It's
Time-
not.
Not
That's
now,
a
it
view
will
to
be.
a kill. A view to a kill, and
View
no
to a
time
Kill,
to
yes.
die.
I just
And
You
No
just
Time to
combined
Kill,
two Bond movies. So let's
just
do it, guys. Let's jot it down. Matthew McConaughey was in A Time to Kill with Sam
Mockingbird.
Jackson, who was in 1408, I think is the direction those numbers go, with John Cusack, who was in High Fidelity, which I got to tell you, I'm really enjoying the new TV show based on it. It is a beautiful love letter to the original while still being its own thing. We talked about it more in the last episode, but I'm going to keep moving because you're right. Joan Cusack played his girlfriends or ex-girlfriends, depending on what part of the movie you catch in on. Best friend who hates his guts. No. His ex-girlfriend's best friend.
Yes.
Who hated
I
his
think that was
guts.
it.
Fun fact, she was also his secretary in Grosse Pointe Blank, where he was a hitman. But Joan Cusack was, you're right, in Toys with Robin Williams,
Bonus.
who was in Hook with Gwyneth Paltrow for the win. Congratulations, gentlemen. You have won the game. Let's total up some points. We had 10 minus the number of movies. You did it in 5 movies. That's going to get you 5 points. Did you get your wild card of Robin Williams? Yes, you did for 3 bonus points. Did we go through Kevin Bacon? No, we did not. House rule in memoriam. There is one person on this list who's no longer with us. That is Robin Williams. He will get us the bonus point as we knew that he would. Is anybody on this list from Saturday Night Live? You're going to love this. Absolutely yes. Joan Cusack.
Joan Cusack was on
Joan Cusack was on that fateful season, which
in like
also
the weird years,
had Robert Downey Jr. and Anthony Michael Hall, and a lot of people who just Randy Quaid, who they weren't the right fit.
Really?
You're right. Yeah, so they were all on the same season. It's that 85-86 season.
Rick Moranis time. Yeah.
Well, Rick Moranis never made the jump to SNL. He was always an SCTV guy. But
I'm thinking of
we can then take the 5, add the 3 is 8, add the wild card point is 9, the SNL cast member point is 10. Gentlemen, you have won the game with double digits. Outstanding. How does it feel to be winners?
It feels about the same as when I get my scale delivered to me from stamps.com.
My favorite part about this is that on the Zoom call, you're
I'm supposed to be mad.
Stamps.com! So you sound kind of like a monster. Adam, Tim, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to be on 5 to 9 today, for playing our game. We do that again. Adam, Tim, thank you guys so much for taking time to be on 5 to 9 today, for playing our game. You've each won the official 5 to 9 gamepad, which comes with 50 game cards and is also available now at 5to9game.com. Listeners, make sure to check out Falcast, that's exclamation point, FALCAST, to learn all about video games and or just hang out with 3 cool dudes playing video games. Also, make sure to look on youtube.com/TV's Adam, where you can find Adam and Tim doing their own take on Mystery Science Theater called Upsetting Shorts. If you 5 to 9ers listening out there in the podcast either were chomping at the bit, yelling out a better solution to today's challenge as we played through it, you can enter for a chance to come on our show by beating us at our own game. Just download or purchase official 5 to 9 game cards at 5to9game.com. That's the number 5, TO, the number 9 game.com. Play today's challenge, post your game card on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, and tag at 5 to 9 game in your post. High scores, as well as creativity and entertainment value, will all be considered. This has been 5 to 9. I'm your host, Eric Ginsberg. Our show is recorded in my apartment during quarantine in Asbury Park, New Jersey. Also, we're excited to have Tim Hall joining us from his home in Connecticut, and Adam Taliercio joining us from his home in Pennsylvania. We are definitely getting into a tri-state or quadra-state or tetra-state region here for sure. Our sound engineers today have been us. We're doing it ourselves. Our theme music is by me. Subscribe to 5 to 9 Podcast with the Apple Podcast app, Google Play Store, SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube if you guys want to look at us too, or literally everywhere else you get your podcasts. Please play with us online through social media on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. As long as the president allows those platforms to exist, you can play today's challenge or make up your own and play with or against the global 5 to 9 community. Just don't forget to tag at 5 to 9 game when you do. Thanks for listening, and let's play together again soon.
LegalZoom.com. Are you dying? Do you need a living will? How about a living trust? Do you need some shady law? LegalZoom.com, because law is only good when it zooms.
Guys, thank you so much.
Stamps!
Stop your recording. Stop your audio.
I want to yell about stamps more.
Theoretically, you can.
It's my favorite part.
Yell at stamps on your time.
Stamps.